Hello, this is AstrologerCoach Sonja Francis, and today we're going to be talking about the upcoming new moon in 11 degrees of Capricorn on January 1st, 2014 at 6:14 a.m. East Coast time in the US and 3:14 a.m. West Coast time in the US. Now this is a very powerful new moon. It's happening right after we jump into the new year, and it's a new beginning. It's a new energy. We can set some very powerful intentions for the new year because it's a new moon right on the first day of 2014. So this is very unusual. This doesn't happen every year. So we can really make some very strong commitments this year for what we want to accomplish this year. Now, in terms of setting the intentions, I'm going to talk at the end of the video about what are the perfect times to set the intentions, because you do not want to set intentions before the new moon gets exact and not during a moon void, of course. So stay tuned for intentions. First, I want to talk about the Capricorn energy, what it represents, and how we can tap into that energy more fully for this new year and for these next 28 days. Now, Capricorn is very much about dedication. It's about commitments. It's about maturity. It's about discipline and focus. Especially focus on physical manifestations, how we can manifest something in the world. It's also about building something in the world, building a legacy, leaving something behind that is more meaningful than just that is bigger than us, that it has something more meaningful to it than just who we are, but it's just leaving something behind for the world and for our communities. It is also very much about taking responsibility. It's very much about being an adult and taking responsibility for our thoughts, for our words, for our deeds, for our choices that we make in life, for our lives, and really becoming very conscious that who we are and what we choose comes directly from us, and we are needing to be responsible or take responsibility for that. So one of the questions that you can ask yourself during this new moon is, how can we evolve from being someone who acts like a victim or acts like a villain or acts like someone who wants to rescue other people all the time into a conscious, mature co-creator with the universe? Because basically what we're really trying to do with this Capricorn energy is to really be very present to the fact that we are taking steps towards manifesting things in the world, and the universe is just helping us to, it's co-creating with us, it's colliding with us to make that happen. So our intention, our thoughts, our words, our deeds are what makes that happen. And so if we can take responsibility for that, we have a much better chance in manifesting something that is authentic and connected to who we are. Now, the new moon in this particular configuration is aligned with Pluto and Mercury in Capricorn. So this means that this asks us, especially the Pluto connection, asks us to eliminate or transform anything that we have outgrown in terms of structures in our lives that we've built in the past, or anything that we have manifested in the past that we don't feel authentically connected with anymore. So we're being asked to just let that go or to transform it into something that is more authentic with who we are now in this moment. Now, our soul is definitely nudging us with this new moon to build something that resonates with our deepest desires, with our deepest passions. And so we're really being asked to leave behind anything that feels disempowering or anything that feels draining in our lives, and to really make space for those commitments and for those choices that bring us a much deeper fulfillment and an authentic expression of ourselves. Now, in order to connect to that authenticity, we really need to get present to what it is that we really truly desire deep within ourselves. And it's not just it's not just what we've been taught that we should desire. It's not our conditioning. It's not what society tells us or what our parents have told us or other people have told us. It's really a very individual process. So it's very important to open ourselves up and choose from a place of love and openness and come from a place of abundance. Rather than from a place of fear or lack or worry or shoulds. Because when we come from that place, when we create, when we have thoughts and words and deeds that come from a place of fearfulness or worry or shoulding on ourselves, then we're really creating a much smaller, more limiting world. But when we're coming from a place of love and openness, we can really create something spacious and something that's accessible, like an accessible world that we can create for ourselves and for other people. And authenticity is really key here, to really check in with ourselves and see, like, what do I feel really connected to? And the truth is, our soul, on a soul level, we always know what that is. We always know the truth of that. So when we're pretending or when we're lying to ourselves and when we're coming from that conditioning rather than from the real authentic place inside of us, then the soul knows, and we're just going to we're not going to be able to manifest something powerful with the universe, because the soul and the universe are very much connected with each other. And so one thing that's important to remember, though, however, of course, is that conditioning is something that happens very early in life. It happens when we're 3, when we're 5, when we're 7. So when fearful behavior shows up or fearful thoughts show up, it's very important that we're very gentle with ourselves, because that energy comes from a very young age. It's a very young energy. So the more we can be gentle with ourselves and we can tap into the other part of ourselves that is not that is not connected to that conditioning, to the authentic part in ourselves that is able to see what is important and what is truthfully connected to us, then we can really gently tell that other part of ourselves, that young part, that conditioned part, it's okay, you're going to be fine, you're going to be safe. I will make sure that I take care of you. And this is sort of like a reparenting process as well. Now, the other thing with this new moon is that there is still this grand cross that is still going to be in play, just like it was 2 weeks ago. And for those of you who saw my full moon video, you already are familiar with that grand cross energy. So if you haven't seen that video, please feel free to watch that again to get a little bit more connected to what that grand cross is all about. But just to briefly continue on what that is, it is this grand cross, because it is still in place. It's definitely a very strong message from the universe saying that we need to make some radical changes in our lives, in our individual lives, but also as on a global level, as a collective. We're really being nudged right now to really make these changes. So the question that you can ask yourself is, what are you ready to leave behind? So you can start manifesting a future that really empowers you and fulfills you on a deep emotional level. Now, for this new year, one thing that I think is important to remember is that we really want to choose wisely. We really want to make choices that are really powerful, that do empower us, and leave behind anything that doesn't. And the reason why I'm saying this is because this new moon really is a chance to lay down some really powerful tracks for the future, tracks that where we can really create a better future for ourselves and for the world. And the only thing we need to do is just trust our inner truth, rather than going with what we already know from our conditioning or what we've heard from other people or from society. We really need to start trusting our inner sense of what is true for ourselves. So as best as you can, really participate consciously in the moment, in the evolution of life, your life, and also the life of the collective, um, towards an improved form of existence on our planet. This is a really big message of this new moon. Now, one other thing that I do want to say again, which I also mentioned a little bit in the full moon video, is that it is very important that we get very centered within ourselves, that we're able to be in the here and now. And one of the ways, of course, that we can do that is through meditation, through music, through walks in nature, breathing exercises. So if you have tools like that already in place, then please use them so that you can really get centered within yourself, so that you can handle all that change, that all the transformation that's coming this year, and also so you can get really present to what it is that you truthfully and authentically needs to connect with. If you don't have tools like that available right now, then feel free to reach out and email me at Sonja@AstrologerCoach.com. That's SONJA@AstrologerCoach.com. I'm happy to send you a couple of links for some guided meditation, some breathing exercises, and some music that you can use to really tap into that inner peacefulness that I'm talking about here, so you can handle what's coming this year. Also, if you do have any personal planets or personal points anywhere between 8 and 14 degrees of Capricorn, Cancer, Aries, or Libra in your birth chart, then you are going to feel this new moon quite strongly. However, all of us are going to feel the new moon somewhere in our chart. So there's some area in our lives that this new moon is definitely hitting. So if you do want to know where that is in your personal chart, if you want to get a little bit of an understanding of that, feel free to reach out for a mini reading. I'd be happy to support you in that way. But you can also, reach out for a New Year's reading. I do have those available until the end of January. If you do want to go a little bit more deeper and want to know a little bit more, for all of 2014, what's around the corner for you in particular, and how you can align yourself with the energies in a powerful way. So that's available. Now, the other thing that I also wanted to mention before I talk about the new moon intentions is that I do teach soul-based astrology online via a web client. So if this is something that you might be curious about and something you want to check in with, I do have an intro to soul-based astrology that will be on January 14th. There are discounts available right now that are good until January 9th. And so you can actually get, until January 9th, you can get the intro for $10 instead of $25. So if you're interested in that and you want to tap your toes a little bit into astrology and how you can connect to your soul purpose and to your soul journey, then please feel free to check that out. If you've already seen my intro to soul-based astrology, then feel free to reach out for any of the other courses that are available in my curriculum in the series. There are 5 or 6 courses that are available. Now, also one last announcement I want to make is that the dates for the 6-week basics course have been changed to the end of January. So the basics course now starts on January 28th. So if you weren't able to make the earlier date and you really wanted to join the basics course, then feel free to reach out either via email to me, or you can also go to astrologercoach.com/online-courses.html. Okay, so that's all for announcements, but let's go back to the new moon intentions. So the new moon intentions are going to be very powerful this year, like I mentioned already in the beginning of the video, because the new moon will be exact right after midnight, very very soon after midnight, when the year is shifting. So instead of making intentions at midnight, make the intentions anytime from 6:15 a.m. on January 1st until 6:12 a.m. on January 2nd, Eastern Standard Time, which is New York time or East Coast time in the US. Then if you miss that opportunity, there's a second opportunity to set some powerful intentions for this year. January 2nd from 12:03 p.m. until January 3rd at 6:14 a.m. Again, Eastern Standard Time, New York time, East Coast time in the US. Now, if you live in a different time zone, then feel free to go to the internet and Google time zone converter and plug in the times that I gave you for New York time, and then just put in wherever you live in the world, and then it will translate what time that will be for you. So 6:15 a.m. New York time, and then you put in your place where you live, and it will tell you, that in your time zone it will be, 12:15 a.m. in Europe, right? So feel free to do that. If you do have questions about that, feel free to reach out. Of course, I'll be happy to help you. And this year, of course, is going to be, as you have guessed already, a year of change, a year of transformation. But it's also very much a year of being present and tapping into our inner strength and tapping into the here and now and into our ability to go with the energies that are provided, and to go with. To tap into a creative process in terms of co-creating with the universe. So this is really what this year is very strongly about. So feel free to tap into that for yourself and align yourself with that in 2014. But of course, if you want to know a little bit more about that, feel free to reach out for a reading or for a coaching session, and I'd be happy to support you as best as I can. All right, so have a fantastic, happy new year. Have a wonderful transition, and have a wonderful 2014. And I will be back very soon, so stay in touch. All right, this is Astrologer Coach Sonja Francis. Goodbye.